overall, Max here again. I quickly want to go over the dollar index because I want to show you my long-term view and my short-term view for the upcoming days and weeks to capitalize on this potential dollar pullback that I'm seeing. So let's get started on the monthly time frame. You can see that we created this supply area all the way up here around 102 and 100 level, and then we moved to the downside, broke it with a lot of momentum, this bullish trend. So we had this trend line formation drawn in and a clear confirmation of higher highs and higher lows here, and then this big break to the downside, breaking this bullish structure to the downside. This bullish trend was taken out, and that all started around these levels. So I drew in my supply area. However, if you see this wick of this candlestick, this wick can out of the test we did, sometimes this wick on the higher time frames will be rejected really strongly. So therefore I am already watching for a potential pullback on the weekly and daily time frame for the DXY. So let me explain on the weekly time frame what I'm seeing there. So what you can see, if you go back to around September 2018, you can see this corrective price action, right? So we had this trend line formation, we have had the supply area up here. So let me quickly draw it in. We had the supply area and this corrective price action, and then this push to the downside, right? Well, if I draw in my Fibonacci to see how far will the weekly pullback be, something really interesting is happening at this moment of time, which happened a lot lately. You can see corrective pattern, weekly supply, and then a push back to 0.618 retracement. So you can see it more clearly here, a push towards 618 and 0.7 retracement. And then what happened from there? Well, if I delete this, keep it everything really simple, you can see we had another correction, and this correction also moved towards that 0.618 retracement and the 0.75 retracement. And what is happening right now? We again have supply up here. We are moving really correctively. Price cannot sustain to move this way very long from now, and then we break down, and the first target will be that 618 and 0.75 retracement on the weekly time frame. So what can happen right now for the upcoming 2, 3, 4 weeks is that we see one push back into supply if not all the orders were filled, maybe spike above this high, but it's not that likely, and then break this corrective pattern to the downside and move towards that 7.2 price on the DXY. So that's the weekly time frame. Not much to add to that. Let's quickly go to the daily time frame and analyze what we see here. So I drew in this trend line formation. It's a bit hard due to these Friday candles, these gaps down, and the data isn't fixed. So I just used my line chart. Quick tip: if it's not that clear, just use your line chart and draw in your trend line from there. But let's analyze the daily time frame quickly and move to the 4-hour from there. We are clearly in this bullish trend. So the weekly, the monthly, and the daily is still in a bullish trend. So shorting it is still dangerous. But we can see that the 4-hour is already in a bearish trend. We have this high, this low, this high here on the daily, and we are trying to make that lower low. If this trend line breaks to the downside, I'm sure that the weekly pullback will come in, and we see 97.2 because that is exactly that 618 retracement long term. If that breaks, 7.5 is likely to be reached, and if it goes that low, this next daily demand area will be my target longer term. If that breaks, I will reanalyze the charts for you guys and see if that monthly or weekly pullback is really happening long term. However, for now, I have this daily demand area which broke this short-term bearish structure to the upside. So how can we capitalize on this? Well, on the 4-hour time frame, we are currently seeing a lot of indecision. So we are currently in this ranging environment. We might break up to the upside, touch 99, and then I will be looking for shorts, and especially euro dollar longs, maybe pound dollar, and other dollar pairs will be on my watch list to see if we have this DXY bearish price action, and then I'll just buy the other currencies against this dollar index. As long as we stay below this trend line formation, the 4-hour chart is clearly in a bearish trend, and stay below this wick, I see price heading lower, especially going to that first target, which will be the daily trend line. If that breaks 97, and then if that breaks to that to these recent lows, and then the lowest there. So yeah, guys, that is my view on the DXY. It's at this moment of time pretty choppy. However, if we have 1 week with a spike up or something like that, and we see some nice clean confirmation to take it short, make sure you are in it and you're prepared to catch it. Forecast it yourself, see what kind of patterns you want to have in the markets to take your trade to the downside. And yeah, guys, I hope you like this quick video. I will do many more of these, and I hope this helped you a lot. So speak to you guys soon.